The 30 best Canva hacks you wish you knew earlier. Let us dive right into it. Hack number 1 is Canva's background remover. To access it, simply click on your picture, then click on Edit Image, and then click on Background Remover. Like this, you can easily remove backgrounds from all sorts of images in Canva, and you can then use these pictures and put them in front of new backgrounds, for example, to create awesome looking thumbnails. Before you can actually do that though, you should right click on your image and then click on Detach Image from Background so that you can now easily place other elements in your design first. For example, if you would like to put that lovely woman in front of one of these backgrounds here, I would simply drag and drop the background like this and then readjust the image. If you don't detach this image from the background first, then see what happens. It's simply going to override the other picture, and that's obviously not what we want. Now, as far as the background remover goes, Canva now also has a background remover for videos. To find the background remover for videos, click on your video, then go into Edit Image and then click on Background Remover. And just like that, your video background is gone. Let us move on to hack number 2, which is Canva keyboard shortcuts. Here are the most important keyboard shortcuts for you. Press T on your keyboard to quickly add text. Press R on the keyboard to add a rectangle to your design. Press C on your keyboard to add a circle. Press Command and Enter on a Mac or Control and Enter on a PC to add a new page to your design. To group elements on your design with a keyboard shortcut, select the elements and then press Command and G on a Mac or Control and G on a PC to group these elements together. Once they are grouped, you can easily move them all together. To ungroup these elements, press Command and Shift and G on a Mac or Control, Shift and G on a PC. And your elements are then ungrouped. To lock an element, click on the element that you would like to lock and then press Alt, Shift and L. It is highly suggested that you use the lock features on backgrounds, because when you have a lot of elements on your pages, chances are that you will move the background accidentally. Also, if you haven't locked the background, it will make it much more difficult to use the other elements on your design. So lock your background whenever possible, simply click on the background and then press Alt, Shift and L to lock it. Now, while there are many more keyboard shortcuts in Canva, those were the most essential ones. We are going to talk about another few keyboard shortcuts later on in this video. But for now, this will do. Now, hack number 3 are 300 dpi image exports. What this does is that you can export your images in the best quality possible. Usually to download an image, you would click on your image, then you would go to share in the upper right corner of the screen, then click on download, and then you would simply choose between JPEG and PNG. As you surely know, PNG images are usually bigger than JPEG images and they are also better in quality. However, a simple PNG is often not good enough and doesn't cut it. So one way to get your images and pictures out of Canva in a better image quality is to click on download and then actually choose PDF print. Then click on download, and now as our images are obviously in a PDF format, which is not what we want, we will head over to pdf2png.com. Then we upload our PDF here, click on download, then simply unzip the downloaded zip file, and you then have your images in a lovely 300 dpi resolution. Hack number 4 is that you can actually drag and drop files into your Canva project without first uploading them here in the upload folder. All you need to do is to drag it directly onto your project, for example from your desktop, just like this here. It will immediately show up in your project and will also automatically be uploaded to your uploads folder like this. Hack number 5 are shapes. The easiest way to get shapes into your project quick and easy is to press C on your keyboard and you will get a circle. Then from there in the top toolbar you will see shape appearing. Click on shape and you can then choose whatever shape you want, for example a star. And just like that you have a lovely little star in your project. Hack number 6 are photo colors. Click on your image and then click on the color square in the upper left corner of the screen. Under photo colors you will then find the main colors as used in your image. This is extremely helpful because it makes it very easy for you to use and access matching colors. For example, if you would like to add a title here, you could simply press T on your keyboard to add the title, then write something, then make sure that your text is highlighted and then click on one of the photo colors. And as you can see, just like that we created a lovely title that matches the color theme of our picture. Hack number 7 is outlines created with Canva's Shadows app. The first step to get this done is to click on your image, then go into Edit Image and use the background remover to remove the background. Once the background is removed, make sure your image is selected, go into Edit Image again and then search for the Shadows app. In my case it is situated here under Recently Used, but you might need to scroll down to find it. Once you found it, click on it, Then double click on glow. Now under color, choose a color for your outline. And then adjust the other parameters accordingly. I'll increase the size a little bit and set the transparency to 100. And if you're not a fan of a glow effect as we have it now, you can always increase the transparency to 100 and set the blur to 0 to get a regular kind of outline. Once you're happy with it, click on apply. And you can then go and add backgrounds and other elements to your design as usual. This works great for all kinds of thumbnails. For example, if you're doing YouTube thumbnails for your videos, you've surely seen that lots and lots of people use this outline effect for their thumbnails. Because the outline effect is a great way to make things pop out in your designs. Let's move on to hack number 8, which is the Duotone app. The Duotone app is awesome because it either helps you to change the color of an uploaded image to Canva, or with the Duotone app you can also change the color of Canva elements. To use the Duotone effect, first click on the element that you would like to use Duotone for and then click on Edit Image. In the search field then input Duotone. Click on it and you can then simply click on the color here of your choice. And our little fish here will change color immediately. Also on top of that, you can always go into the settings and from there you can further adjust the highlight color, the shadow color and the overall intensity. And it's now time for hack number 9, which is AI images. Did you know that in Canva you can generate AI images? Well, you probably didn't, because this is a very new feature. To generate an AI image in Canva, in the left toolbar click on Apps and then look out for Text to Image. Now in this box in the upper left corner of the screen, input any description text and Canva will then transform your idea into an image, which is pretty awesome. So let us try the following: an oil painting of an old lady sitting on a park bench. Before you click on Generate Image, you can also choose the style. If you want to generate a photo, simply click on Photo. Or if you would like to have a painting, click on Painting. In my case, we would like to see an oil painting, so I would simply click on that. And then click on Generate Image. And there you go, pretty awesome, right? Please note that at the moment, AI images are limited to 24 images per day. Hack number 10, ladies and gentlemen, which is spacing. Now there are several ways to properly space elements in Canva. First of all, whenever you move elements around, you will notice those pink helping lines. So simply using those pink lines you can already make some adjustments. For example, here you can see that the pink line here will indicate that those two chess pieces here now are level. You can also do that here with the second one, with the third one. In the same way, I can move this chess piece here around, and once I see this straight line here, means that our chess piece is perfectly spaced vertically. Whereas if you see this dotted line, it simply means that it is perfectly aligned when compared with the chess piece next to it. These helping lines are also great if you just want to make sure that the space between these chess pieces is the same. So when I move this one closer here, at a certain point it will show me 58 and 58, and that means that all of these three elements are now evenly spaced, so the space between each of these is the same. Now another great way to make sure that your spacing is on point is to simply make sure to select all the elements that you would like to space and then in the top right corner click on Position. Now to evenly space them you can simply click on vertically here or on horizontally. And like this you will see that our spacing once again now is perfect, and this time perfect both horizontally and vertically. And it's actually much faster to do it like this. Now in the very same way you can also use this feature to align elements on top, for example. So if you would like to make sure that the second chess piece and the third chess piece, they all align with the top of our first chess piece here, then you could click on Position again here and then simply select Top. You can do that with middle, bottom, left, center and right as well. Pretty neat stuff. Hack number 11 is quick copy. To quickly copy any design element in your project, simply hold down Alt on your keyboard, then left click on the element that you would like to copy and then drag. Hack number 12, brand fonts. Please note that this hack only works for Canva Pro users. On the home page on the left side, click here on brand. Then on the right side under brand fonts, you can actually upload a custom font. If you're still searching for some cool fonts that you could use in Canva, then you can use the website called thefont.com, where you can find thousands of free fonts. Some of these fonts are also free for commercial use. For every font that you see here, it will always tell you if the font is only free for personal use or if the font is even completely free. Like this Robotica font, for instance, where it says 100% free. To use that font, for example, simply click on download here, and once that font is downloaded, unzip the zip file and then just upload it to Canva by using this upload a font button here. Once your font is uploaded, it will appear here under uploaded fonts. And if you switch over to text styles, you can then easily preview your font as a heading, a subheading, or as a body style by clicking here on one of these and then choose the new font. There you go. Now when you will click on create a new design here in the upper right corner, and I'm just going here with a custom size, maybe 1200 by 720 pixels. And then back in Canva, remember you can simply press T on your keyboard to add text. And I can now go and change the font here to our new font, which is Robotica. There you go. Simple and easy. Hack number 13 are text effects. Remember that you can simply press T on your keyboard to add text to your design. Then click on your text and choose effects from the top toolbar. You can then easily add one of these awesome text effects right here. For example, you can add a drop shadow to your text, you can lift your text, or you could easily add a background to your text. Most of these options here will really help you to make your text pop. Because sometimes, like in our example here, texts are hardly visible. So for instance here, let me just add a background, and as you can see now our text sticks out much more. On the shape you can then also curve your text. Depending on your design and your backgrounds, some of these will work better than others. So it's always a good idea to experiment with all these options and features here. The ones that I personally find most useful are the drop shadow effect and the lift effect. The lift effect just adds some sort of very subtle shadow behind your text, and this also helps to make the text pop a little bit more. However, it's really subtle. It heavily depends on the background here. In some cases you can barely see the effect. So here, for example, let me just put the intensity to 100 and to 0, and you can see in our picture here you can barely see a difference, and that's because the background around our text here is already very black. So let's try that again here now, where the background around the text is a little bit brighter. I'll put the intensity back to 50, and now when we put it to 100 you can see a little bit of a difference. Or let's try from 0 and put it to 100. There is a little bit of visible difference. And now it's a good time to transition over to hack 14, which is blurring backgrounds. In the same fashion as text effects, blurring the background is also very useful to make other elements on top of your backgrounds pop and stick out more. So for example, if you would like to blur this background here, simply click on the image, then go into Edit Image, and under Adjust click here on See All, and then simply use the blur fader and move it to the right to blur your image. And even if we blur our image just a tiny little bit, you will see that this makes a big difference, as our MMA text just pops so much more. To blur the background is a very often used practice, especially if you're working on thumbnails. For example, if you're doing videos and use thumbnails for your YouTube videos, then blurring the background is a great thing to do and will really help you to improve your designs. Which brings us to hack number 15, which is sharpening elements and images in Canva. For that, once again click on your picture, then click on Edit Image, click on See All here in the Adjust section, and now instead of moving the blur fader to the right, actually move it to the left to sharpen the image. Sharpening images is also great to use in combination with blurring images. For example, let me put that blur here to 0 again, then I will go to Photos here, and I will search for MMA fighter. Now let us drag and drop this picture here. I'm going to Edit Image and then use the background remover. Once the background is removed for our second picture here, I will click on our first picture again, click on Edit Image, under Adjust, click on See All. Now I'm first going to blur our background here by dragging the blur fader to the right. Now I'm going to reposition our second image. And for this second image we are going to sharpen it a little bit by dragging the blur fader to the left. And just like that, we created an awesome looking MMA thumbnail. Of course, we could continue now and add some text in this area here. However, this should do for the moment. I guess you get the idea. Let's tackle hack 16 now, which is re-uploading Canva elements. Why would we like to re-upload Canva elements? Well, here's why. First of all, we will just have a look at our background here. Now notice that whenever we have a Canva photo just as this background here, we can always just click on the image and then go into edit image, and then we always have this lovely adjust panel here with all of these options to play with. We can easily change the brightness of the image, the contrast, we can blur our image, we can sharpen the image, we can increase the highlights, or we could simply fade the image a little bit. Those are all great and very crucial options. Now, however, if you click on a Canva element and then go into edit image, you will notice that this adjust panel is actually missing. And that's really a pity, because it would be nice for us to have the very same options for Canva elements as well. However, they are not there. Luckily now there is a workaround for that. However, this is only going to work if you're a Canva Pro user. If you're just using Canva Free, you might want to skip this hack. However, if you're on Canva Pro, here's how we do it. Add a page, and then press Alt on your keyboard, left click on the element and drag it down. This will just make a copy of our element. Now in the upper right corner, click on Share, then click on Download, and we will download this now as a PNG, and make sure to tick the option Transparent Background. And we will also select just page 2 here, because we just want to download our element. After that we will click on Done and then click on Download. Once your element has downloaded, you can simply drag and drop it into your design here, or you can select Uploads here and then drag it into the Uploads folder. Once it is uploaded, just drag it onto your design. And now when you select your Canva element and then go into edit image again, you will then see that we have our lovely adjust panel back here. So for our Canva element here, we can now in fact make use of the great adjust panel, which is the very same adjust panel that you usually just get for Canva images. And that's just really awesome. We can change the brightness now, we can adjust the contrast, we can play with the saturation, and just like that we gave a lot more power to Canva elements. Now let us talk about hack number 17, which is element colors. As you surely know, under elements you can find thousands of awesome looking elements to use in your designs. As always, simply drag and drop them into your design and you're good to go. You might have noticed that a lot of these elements are actually not easy to customize, because when you click on an element like that and then go into edit image, you don't really have that many options to change the look of it. However, I just want to bring to your attention that this is not always the case, because certain Canva elements are more customizable than others. For example, if we click on that element here, you will then see that we have these color squares here appearing just next to edit image, and whenever that is the case, you can actually go in there and then very easily change the colors of this element. For example, if I don't like this green jacket, I can simply click here on the green square and then choose that to something else. Just like that. The same for the hat and the tie, which is represented by that black color square here. I could click on that and then change that to something else, maybe dark blue. The thing here is that you only have that for certain elements. So we have just seen that this is the case for that element here. So let us try the others. This one here doesn't have this option. This one here the same. This one here again has the color square, so this one is customizable. And then the last one here, it's the same problem as with this one. We don't really get those color squares, so we can't just easily adjust the colors like that. So as far as this hack goes, whenever you're using Canva elements, it's always a good idea to first browse through the elements and check whether this color option is available for the element in question or not. And if not, you might want to browse further and look for another element where this useful option is available, because this will allow you to easily change the color of an element to whatever you want. In this tutorial there are other hacks that will help you to change the color of elements. However, it needs to be said that the color options as presented in the other hacks of this tutorial will be limited. However, whenever you see the color squares for a Canva element, as we have just discussed, then the colors that you can use for the element parts as defined by Canva are then unlimited. The next few hacks are related to Canva video projects. So before trying these out, make sure that you have specifically created a Canva video project. Now let's have a look at hack number 18, which is timing text in videos. First of all, by pressing T on the keyboard, I will simply add some text to our video. I'm just going to enlarge that a little bit, and I'm going to change the text into "Chess is fun." Also, I'm going to change the color for that into white, and I will make it a little bit bigger again, maybe something like that. This obviously doesn't look great, but it doesn't really matter because this hack is only about the timing of the text. Now if we press on the play button, you can see that our text is playing for the whole duration of the video clip, which might not be ideal. Maybe you just want to show that for the first few seconds or in the middle or maybe in the end. And you can now easily do that in Canva by timing text elements. To do so, simply click on your text and then click on those three dots that appear above the text box and choose Show Timing. And then here in the timeline, you can easily adjust the timing of your text by simply dragging this text element either from the start or the end to change the timing of the text. So let's say we would just like to have this text element in the first few seconds, so I would simply drag this text element from the end and drag it to the left, so to make it that the text will just show for 3 seconds. Now I will put the cursor here to the beginning of the video clip and let us play the clip again now. And as you can see, our text element just showed for the first 3 seconds of our video clip. In the very same fashion, we can do this with all the text elements in our video clips. So if we have multiple text elements, for each text element, you can simply select the text element, right click on it, and then go into Show Timing and adjust the timing to your liking. You can conveniently use this to make some headings in your videos or also to add some sort of captions. Next in line is hack number 19, speeding up Canva videos. In fact, this is a really useful hack and I also have a whole video on that topic. Simply click on the link in the upper right corner of the screen if you're interested in that. But the bottom line is this. For instance, we now have a video clip here which is 19 seconds that shows a swimmer swimming in a lake. The sequence itself is pretty slow. At this very moment in Canva itself, there is actually no feature to speed up video clips. However, you can get this done really easily by doing the following. Click on Share in the upper right corner of the screen, download your video as an MP4 video. After that, you go to the website easegif.com/video-speed. You upload your video there. Once the video is uploaded, change the multiplier here. I will put that to 2, for example. Then I click here on Change Video Speed. And then under Output Video, you will find the new version of the video, which will be much faster now. And you can then conveniently download that new clip by clicking here on Save. Once the download is done, go back to Canva and upload this video to Canva. I will just add a page in my video project here so that we can insert this newer and faster version of the video clip. And once it is uploaded here under Uploads, I will simply drag and drop that onto our new page here in our video. And as you can see here now, our video clip is much faster. In the very same fashion, you can obviously also slow down video clips. All you need to do is to go to easegif.com/video-speed. Upload your video there, change the multiplier to either make it faster or slower and then re-upload it to Canva. Done. And that was hack number 19. Hack number 20, video transitions. Let's have a quick look at our video here. We have a tennis ball and then we have a guy playing tennis. Now, in order to make your videos more interesting, you can actually add video transitions between video clips. So in our case, our video here is made out of 2 individual video clips. So now to spice things up a little bit, we can add a transition between the first and the second clip. Here's how we do it. In your timeline, click on the plus symbol and then click on that small symbol under the plus symbol to add a transition. A new menu will then pop up and you can then choose a video transition. For example, I can choose Circle Wipe to preview the transition. You can simply hover over it with your mouse without even clicking and you will then see in real time how this transition looks like. If you do like it, click on it, it will be added to your video. Now, when we play the video again, we have a lovely transition that acts kinda like a bridge from our first video clip to the second. Have a look. Lovely. This brings us to hack number 21, fading in and fading out audio. Whenever you have music that goes with your video clip, remember you can always easily add that by clicking here on audio and then simply drag it here from the list onto your project. Or you can also upload your own music to Canva by going here to Uploads and then click on Upload Files, and then simply locate the audio file on your computer to upload it. Once you have chosen your song and added it to the timeline, when you press on play here, your audio should play along. As you can clearly hear, our audio doesn't sound right, and the main reason for that is that for the moment we don't have any fade in and no fade out. So that means when I start the audio track, the song immediately starts playing without any fade, and at the end of the video clip it stops very abruptly without fading out, which is obviously not ideal. To change that, click on the audio in the timeline and then above your video click on Audio Effects. Now conveniently adjust the fade in time and the fade out time. These settings are in seconds, so I chose a fade in time of 0.7 seconds and a fade out time of 0.0 seconds as well. Now I put the cursor here in the timeline back to the beginning of the song and I will play it again. And our audio now sounds beautiful, just as it should, due to audio fades. Hack number 22 is restoring tabs. Sometimes it happens that here in the left toolbar you just simply can't find a tab anymore. So now, for instance, mysteriously our Photos tab is now missing here in the toolbar. To restore it, all you need to do is to click on Apps, and under More from Canva you can see our lovely Photos tab. Once I click on it, it will then be added back to our toolbar. Hack number 23 is making copies of your existing designs. This is useful for a couple of reasons. First of all, for new designs you might want to use the same styles all over again. So why start with the new design then? You can simply make a copy of your existing designs and then take it from there. Here's how you do it. It's very simple. Click on File in the upper left corner of the screen and then click on Make a Copy. And you will then get a duplicate of your project. Now, another reason why this is a great thing to do is because sometimes you will experience problems when downloading large projects. And in that case, if your download should fail, sometimes it helps to just make a copy of your design and then try to download it from there again. Also, whenever you have large projects like this one here, for example, where I have about 50 thumbnails in it, and it used to be over 100, then what you can actually do is first you make a copy by first going here to File again, then click on Make a Copy, and then instead of trying to download everything from that copy, you could simply try to download half of the content from your original project and half of the content from your copy. And this sometimes also helps to solve downloading problems in Canva. It's now time for Hack 24, which is Canva's color picker tool. You can find the color picker tool by clicking on an image in your design and then click here on the background color square. Then under Document Colors, click on the left square. And you will then find the color picker tool right here. When you click on it, you can then hover over any element and copy the color. So for example, if I like that green here, I can simply hover over that and then left click, and the background color is then immediately set to that very color. However, now if I don't want the background to have that color but another element in my design, then I can also do that. How so? Well, it works in a very similar fashion. For example, I can press T on my keyboard to add some text to my design, and then instead of clicking on the background, I simply click on my text. And then I go here into the text color options, and under document colors now again I will click here on the left square, and here as well you will find that lovely color picker tool. So once again I choose that, then I hover over this shirt here, and immediately our text color changes to that lovely green. One cool thing to mention about Canva's color picker tool is that you can actually choose whatever color is on your screen, no matter whether it is inside or outside of Canva. So in our case here, I opened up another Chrome window here, and let's say I really enjoy the color of this lady's shoes here, then I could still select the color picker tool here and then just hover over these shoes here, select that color, and boom, I got that very same color in Canva. Pretty awesome stuff. Alternatively, what you obviously can also do is you will just make a screenshot of whatever image outside of Canva, then you go to Uploads, you upload that image, and then you simply use the color picker tool to identify the colors. Let's continue our hack marathon with Hack 25, which is gradients. Have a look at this lovely lady here in our project. The image itself looks really good, but to be honest, the one color background like this is a little bit boring. So to make things more interesting in Canva, I highly suggest you to use gradients. An easy way to use gradients would be the following. First of all, we click on duplicate page to make a copy of our design. Now I would click on the background and delete that one. And then I click on photos in the left toolbar and search for gradients. You will then find lots of awesome gradients, and you can now just simply drag and drop that into your project. And you have a lovely gradient background. Also, you can further manipulate these gradients by going into Edit Image, and then here in the Adjust panel, go to See All. And now when you play with the blur fade, you will see that this will further smoothen your gradient. Also, you can play here with the tint function, which will completely change the colors of your gradients. Feel free to also play with the other faders here to get exactly the look that you want for your gradient. Now, instead of using gradients from the Photos panel, you can also find gradients in the Elements panel. If we search for gradients in the Elements panel, you will also find interesting gradients that you can drag and drop into your project. And the cool thing now here is that some of these gradients actually have different colors that you can choose from. So for instance, this one here is a 2-color gradient. And how do you know that? Well, because next here to Edit Image you have these 2 color squares. And you can now adjust these 2 colors to your liking. So for example, instead of that color I could choose a green here, and the second color choose a blue. And of course we would probably want to have this gradient here as a background, not just as a spot like that, but no problem. First of all, we are going to zoom out a little bit. And then we simply enlarge our gradient here to make it big enough for our design. Then right click on it and click Send to Back. And just like that, we have created another awesome looking gradient. Now, last but not least, when it comes to gradients, please note that there are also fade to transparent gradients, which can also take your designs to the next level. Let me demonstrate. To find these fade to white gradients, click on Elements in the left toolbar, and then search for gradients that fade to transparency. Most of these elements here, they do have a crown symbol, and that means they are reserved for Canva Pro users. The first one, however, is a Canva free element, so we will stick with that one. Simply drag and drop that onto your project, and you can then create a really cool gradient effect by enlarging that a little bit. As the effect like this is probably too dramatic, you could always click here on this transparency symbol in the upper right corner and reduce the transparency a bit to make this effect more subtle and smooth. Now the great thing here is also that again we have these color squares here, so you can actually choose the colors. So instead of that purple, which is probably not the best color for our image here, I would maybe choose something else, maybe something like this turquoise here, and that would certainly blend in better with our original image. Now, instead of having it fade to white, you can also choose another color here. So if you would just like to have some sort of overlay gradients, you don't necessarily have to choose white here. You could also choose a second color here, maybe yellow, and then just use it like that. This also creates some pretty nice fade effect. As we're talking about fading now, let me just give you a bonus hack here. Click on the image, then go into Edit Image, under Adjust, click on See All, and then the last fader here, you can also easily fade your image like that. This creates a very similar effect, but without adding new colors to your image. It's time to shed some light on hack 26, which is rulers. To enable rulers for your Canva project, click on File in the upper left corner of the screen and then select Show Rulers and Guides. Above your design and on the sides, you will then see these rulers appear. Now let's imagine that we have 4 footballs now here on our pitch. One way to space these footballs evenly would be to use rulers. To make horizontal rulers appear in your design, hover over the ruler on top of your design, then left click and drag down. To use vertical rulers, do the same but here on the left side. And with the help of these rulers, it will be easy for us to line them all up. Now when you move one of these footballs here, you can also make sure that the space between each of these is the same. The pink Canva helping guides will make this very easy for you. So here we see that between the first and the second football, the spacing is 64 pixels, as well as the space between the second and the third one. Now, to make sure that the last one is aligned properly as well, I would also move that around a little bit until it will show me 64 for all of these spaces. On top of that, I would probably also want to make sure that all of these are exactly in the middle of my design, so I could simply select all of these and move them further to the right a bit until I see that pink helping line appearing in the middle. Now it seems that the first, third and fourth one are actually a little bit too low. I can simply move them up a little bit until they reach our vertical ruler here and we are good to go. And that is how you use rulers in Canva. If you need more rulers, then this is no problem at all. You can drag as many rulers as you want from both the top and the side into your project. And that's it for hack 26. Hack number 27 that I would like to share with you guys are Canva filter options. First of all, make sure that you click on photos here in the left toolbar. Once that is selected, next to this search field here, click on that small symbol. Now, if you're a Canva free user, what you want to do here is to tick the free option. And after you click on apply filters, only free elements and photos will show up in that list. That is very useful because if you don't do that, you will see a lot of pro elements there as well. This can actually be quite distracting, and in case you don't want to pay any money on download, then it's just easier for you to just not display these elements at all. On the other hand, if you're a pro user, you might want to tick pro here. However, in most cases, if you're a pro user, it makes sense to just display everything, because often there are some really nice free elements, and even as a pro user, you would probably still want to make use of these. Now, there is one more great filter option here, and I think Canva has just recently introduced that one, which is the cutout filter here. What this does is when the cutout filter is selected, you will only see elements that are on a transparent background. And this is great whenever you are working on a thumbnail, for example, because in that case, let's say we would like to add a cook here for our lovely food picture, then I could make sure that the cutout option here is ticked. I click on apply filters. Then I'm simply going to search for cook, and I can then just drag and drop our cook onto our project here. And just like that, we have created an awesome looking thumbnail. You can then always go into the edit image options again, and for example here under adjust I click on see all, and I would actually de-blur this a little bit, or let's say sharpen by dragging the fader here to the left, and this will make our lady pop out a little bit more from our design. And that was hack number 27, filter options. Hack number 28 is the Draw Beta app. With the help of this app you can easily draw things in Canva. How awesome is that? To use the Draw Beta app, click on More in the left toolbar. Then search for Draw Beta. Once you found it, click on it to install it. Now simply choose a pen, define the size and the transparency, and set the color, and you're good to go. You can then start drawing things with your computer mouse, or if you do have an iPad with an Apple Pencil, for example, that's even better because you can then use your Apple Pencil and your iPad to draw stuff in Canva. You can actually use the Draw Beta app on all of your designs, which is a lot of fun. My preferred way to use this is to use it on Canva elements, because it allows me to delete certain parts of the elements that I don't like. And that's exactly what I did with this yellow fish here. I copied the hex code of the yellow of this fish, and then I used this exact same yellow for my drawing brush to remove certain parts of the fish. Just like that. Lovely indeed. You should pay close attention to hack number 29, because this is yet another hack that is extremely useful, and you might want to use that hack over and over again. For this hack I have prepared a jungle picture here with a couple of monkeys on it. Now, as you have probably noticed, whenever you have a lot of elements in your Canva designs, sometimes it can be really difficult to select the element that you would actually like to move or manipulate or whatever. Now, there are a couple of ways to make this easier, and some of these ways have already been shown in previous hacks in this video. But in case you didn't pay attention to that, the first thing you can always do is to click on the background, and then here in the upper right corner click on that lock symbol to lock the background. That will already make it easier to move elements around that are placed on your background. However, it often happens that we have overlapping elements on our design, and this is where things get really difficult. Now, for example, on our design here, we have these 3 different monkeys. But let's imagine that our first monkey here is actually covering both the second and the third monkey. So how could we still select that second and third monkey to still make some changes? Well, there is an easy solution to that, and that is to press Command on your keyboard when you're trying to left click on the element. Now, let me demonstrate that. I hold Command on my keyboard and then I left click on that first monkey. I will then be able to move that first monkey around. Now, while still holding Command, I will click again here in the same spot, and this will select our second monkey. I can then easily move our second monkey around and adjust all the parameters for that very second monkey. Now, by still holding Command, I left click once again, and this will select our last monkey here, monkey number 3, and I can then move that fella around and do whatever changes to that monkey that I want. And this is by far the best way to select and skip through overlapping layers in Canva. Now, last but not least, let's talk about hack number 30, which is animated subscribe buttons. Let's suppose you have a YouTube channel, then it's always a great idea to tell your viewers to subscribe to your channel. And a great way to do that is to display animated subscribe buttons. In Canva, you can actually find these buttons. All you need to do is to go to Elements here in the left toolbar and search for animated subscribe button. Then simply drag them onto your design, as I have already done here, and you have a lovely subscribe button. Now you could go and download that as an MP4 video file and then use this in your YouTube videos. However, one problem that you might face with this is that your subscribe button here is actually on the background. And that means when you download this subscribe button, it will always be on a black background. In case you would like to use it on a black background in your video, then this is fine. But in many cases, you would probably like to use that subscribe button on another background. But the problem here is that Canva actually doesn't let you download these animated subscribe buttons with a transparent background. You can only get the transparent background for Canva elements whenever you choose PNG as the file format. However, there is a little workaround for that, and that is to choose animated subscribe buttons that are on a green screen. Let me add a page here first. I will just remove that background. And here in our list, you can see that subscribe button is actually on a green screen, which means a green background. Now I simply click on that one to add it to my design. I right click here and set the video as background to make it fit our page frame here. Now I have mentioned green screen before, and this is actually a very common thing in video editing. In fact, whenever you have an element on a green screen, you will then be able to remove that green screen in video editing software so that you are left with no background and only have the element that was placed on the green screen. And that then obviously means that you can use that element on whatever background you want in your videos. Now to achieve this, you would download this element here by clicking on Share and then download that as an MP4 video. Now, after you have downloaded this video, to remove the green screen, you would need third-party video editing software. If you do have Premiere Pro, it's very easy to remove the green screen. You would simply go to Effects and search for Ultra key. Apply the Ultra key to the video sequence in the timeline. Then go to the Effect Controls panel and under Ultra key, click on the Color Picker tool. Then click once on the green color in the video, and the green screen is then completely gone. In case you don't have something like Premiere Pro, which obviously is a paid software, then you could also use free software such as iMovie to get the job done. Here's how you remove a green screen in iMovie. I have already done that with our subscribe button. Then left click on that clip and drag it onto the timeline. Now, in case you already have your video ready and would just like to put that subscribe button on top of footage that you already have, then you would import your video here as well. As I don't have that at the moment, I'm simply going to choose a background here to demonstrate. But as just mentioned, if you already have the video, import the video and then just use your video instead of a background here. But the process will be exactly the same. So in my case, I'm just going with a black background here. And then I will drag that here in front of our other clip. Now I'm going to enlarge that background here, which means I'm going to enlarge the duration of our background clip to make sure it is long enough. Once I have done that, I left click on our animated subscribe button, clip, and drag it on top of our background clip. I will just make sure that they line up properly. And once you have done that, click on your green screen clip, and then in the top right corner of the screen, make sure to click here on that very first symbol and choose green blue screen. And once you have done that, the green screen will be gone. In my case here, it is now sitting in front of a black background, but as I have mentioned before, if you put a video here instead of just a black background, then your animated subscribe button will comfortably sit in front of your footage instead of a black background. And that's how you remove a green screen in iMovie completely for free. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, the 30 very best Canva hacks. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, I would also highly suggest you to watch the next video on this channel where I will tell you everything about video editing in Canva.